guys, and welcome back to another video. I'm joined with a special guest today, which is Reece Kerridge.
Hello, everybody.
Would you just like to introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, so my name is Reece Kerridge, and I am a West End performer. I have been in the Book of Mormon in the West End. I was on tour with Shrek on a UK and Ireland tour. I did Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, Our House, the Madness musical, and currently Starlight Express out in Germany.
Great. So I asked my Instagram followers just to give you a few questions. So let's get started with the first one.
Okay.
So the first one is, what is the best show you've ever done?
The best show I've ever done. God, I love them, but for all different reasons. I think so. Like Book of Mormon was my West End debut, so that's obviously really, really close to my heart. It was like the first big show I'd ever done. And Sorry, my Alexa's going off. It's telling me off. And Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again was for the film, so it was like completely different experience to what I'm used to normally. Our House was the first show I ever did. It was on Fringe. Like we got to basically recreate the show from scratch, which was absolutely amazing. Um, I think out of all of them, and obviously Shrek I loved as well because I covered my dream role. I think I'd have to say Our House, just for the pure fact that it was completely from scratch. We completely revived the show. Like it was just amazing. So yeah, I'd probably say Our House.
Yeah, what was it like doing that show? Because I've heard like so much about it, and the UK tour had people like George Sampson in. So what was it like for you to be in the show?
Yeah, so we I think we were at the Union Theatre, which is in Southwark, so it's an off West End house. And I think we were like 2 years before that tour that went out. But it's really tough. It's such a tough show. It's so physical. I like baggy trousers is like 6, 7 minutes long, and you're constantly on the go on stage, like running around. It was knackering. That we had like sick buckets like backstage because we were like, we're gonna throw up. Like it's just it's so physical, and it's like right at the start of the show, like the fifth number. So by the time you get to Act 2, you're absolutely knackered. But it's so amazing. I really want them to do a revival of it again, but in London somewhere. I think it's so relevant today. It will always be relevant. It's young, it's fresh, it's madness. Who doesn't like madness at the end of the day? Like it's absolutely crazy. So yeah, I think it was just so much fun. Like we had such a ball doing it.
Yeah, I can imagine, like, from the little clips I've seen of it, it does look madness.
Literally, it is crazy. Yeah, it's madness.
Yeah, like I really do want a revival of it because I actually never saw it.
It's so good. It's the first time I'd seen like on YouTube, like the original London production. But again, it's West End, it's massive. So to scale it right down to like Fringe, like we're literally in a black box theatre. Um, and to do like such a big show in such a small space and it work was just it was such an achievement, like from all behalves, from all areas of the show. So yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, I can imagine how like popular it was.
Yeah, yeah, it's very popular.
Yeah. So the second question that I've got for you is, who are your bestest friends in the whole wide world?
Oh god, I dread to think he's put this one in. um So I can count like my closest, my nearest and dearest on like one hand. My best friend Claire, who we met doing Our House. That was our first job, like out of college together. And we now do Sit in the Stalls, the radio show that we do every week. And obviously, like my boys from college, Chris, Mitch, Fraser, Sam, Big Dave, Ginger Will, like all of those. But closest from that group are definitely Chris and Fraser, who I talk to like all the time. Um, and then obviously my best friend's Amy from college as well. God, I have like such a great group of people around me. When I think about like, the friends that I have, like they're
Yeah.
just amazing. And I think that's one thing, I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for that group of friends that, constantly challenge me, and we challenge each other, and we're always there for each other when something happens. And so yeah, it's I've got a good friendship group surrounding me, definitely.
Yeah, and I guess that's good with especially what's going on at the moment as well.
Yeah, oh my God, like we started off, we don't do it so much now, but we got into like the quiz night thing. So like we do like quiz nights with each other, but like we'd all be on Zoom and like all those different things. Like we'll just randomly message people. I'm the friend that sends people like TikToks. So like I'll just send them TikToks really randomly and they'll be like, what even is this? And like Instagram reels and stuff. So that's me. Like I don't normally text, I normally just send funny things. But yeah. Yeah. I love my peeps. My gang.
I'm the one in my friendship group that's just like, oh, funny TikTok, that's going to the group chat.
Yeah, it's the best. Some of them are great. I'm absolutely obsessed with TikTok. It's like my new obsession.
Yeah, like you just scrolling for hours, and next thing you know, it's 4 o'clock in the
Yeah,
morning.
don't. It's terrible. I literally said, and Claire's like, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Why are you texting me? I'm like, because I've got a funny video to show you. It's so bad. I'm so bad.
Quick before you go to bed, I will show you this.
Yeah, literally, that's me.
So the next question that I've got is best advice that you could give to students who are training in the arts currently.
Oh God. It's gonna be tough. I'm not. I can't. I never sugarcoat. My training was so tough. Like it was so hard, and I never sugarcoat it. It's gonna be the hardest thing you've ever done in your life. Like I look back and I think, how did I get through 3 years? Because I had the most amazing friends. That's how I did it. Um, but just be you. Like know your cast. It know what you're right for. Like me, I know that I'm not right for like Phantom. People tell me like I'm right for like Les Mis and Phantom, and I'm like, you don't know me. It's not me. That's not who I am. Not to say that I wouldn't go in for an audition if they called me in. I just know that I would most likely not get the job. Put me in a show for like Shrek or Mormon that's like character that I can like totally go to the high heavens. That's me. So it's knowing your casting and just be yourself. Like I always say to people, and this is like the one bit of advice I always give people, everybody has a superpower, and that's being you. No one else can do what you can do. And I think that's so special. There's nobody else out there like you. Even twins, you're so different in so many different ways. But just be yourself. Don't try and be somebody you're not. But we've all been there. So it's a lesson that you learn over time, definitely.
Yeah, 100%
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
So the next one that I've got is how do you stay creative?
Oh my god, I have the most overactive brain. It's absolutely ridiculous. And that's why I'm up on TikTok till like 4 in the morning, because I'll like be writing or something, or I'll be like by the sewing machine and like, doing bits and bobs, and then I'll be like, oh, I can't switch off because my mind is so creative. So last year, lockdown for me, I was in Germany at the time. We just started rehearsals for Starlight Express, and literally like 4 weeks later, they were like, we have to shut down because of this whole virus situation. Excuse me. And so I sat there and I was really bored and I was like, what can I do? And I messaged a very dear friend of mine who's a lyricist and a book writer. And she's like, write a song. And I was like, you're funny. It would literally be like the cat sat on the mat. Like it would be terrible. And lo and behold, I put out on Instagram and I was like, okay, I'm going to write a song for giggles. And somebody came back and was like, write a song about chicken nuggets. So I wrote a song about chicken nuggets. And ever since then, it just like I'd opened this door and this like floodgate opened of like creativity. I've always been creative. I've always like been that kid like that would make sets and then put them up in the living room and tie a blanket around me and like make a costume out of it and choreograph and all of this. I've always been that kid. I've been very creative. But it wasn't until I've opened this floodgate door, and then I opened and I've now written like got a musical that's now going into like a writing development stage with music being written. I've got a second musical idea in the process at the moment. I then set up Pink Pig Productions because we released a sitcom pilot um called The Gift That Keeps Giving, which is on Pink Pig Productions YouTube channel, featuring an all West End cast, West End creative team. So it's just, for me, it comes really naturally being creative. Like I could literally like walk down the street and there'd be like a plant or a tree or something. I'd be like, I know, I'm going to write a song about that, or I'm going to write a show about that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Things like that come very easy to me. Um, and I'm just lucky again to have like the support network around me for people to go, we'll develop it with you, we'll create something with you, we'll do something. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's just being very open and very willing to be creative. That's what we are in this industry. We're creative. I had this conversation with somebody the other day, and I can't think who it was. We're on the radio, we did a radio with Conservative MP Giles Watling, who's been an actor for like years and years and years and years, very famous actor. And obviously, he's now an MP and he sits on the Culture Media Sport Board for the Conservatives. And he was saying, like, just keep creative. We're artists. We create art. That's what we do. And that's always stuck with me. And I've always said that from the start. We can sit here and moan as much as we want about our industry coming back. Why not create? Why not take the time to like do something and create something artistic? That's what we do. That's what we're trained to do. So all I can say is just get out there, write, paint, draw, like sew, whatever it is, just run with it and see what happens.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So the next one I've got is, if your drag alter ego could be in a musical, what would it be and what part?
Oh my god, I didn't think this was going to come up. Yeah, I do drag. I have a drag alter ego called Gracie Lou. Um, oh, it's so hard because one of my dream roles is Misunderstanding in Priscilla Queen of the Desert.
Hmm.
And I actually got offered it a couple of years ago and had to turn it down because I was on another job. Um, so definitely Misunderstanding in Priscilla. Do I think that they kind of coincide together, like my drag ego, and they're probably completely different, but there would still be similarities in that Gracie's very much like a look queen, like she's a pageant queen. She really wants to do like a pageant, with like the big ball gowns and like the dresses and the hair, just like amazing, like stunning makeup. But she's ditzy, and I think that's where we're very similar. Is I'm quite ditzy at times. Like I'm very like forward thinking, and I can like put an argument into place. But like general life, like normal things, I'm like stupid. Like I'm genuinely stupid when it comes to certain things. Like you can see this new mic that I've got that arrived today. I had to text like my editor of the sitcom to be like, "Can you teach me how to use my new mic?" Things like that. No idea. Wouldn't have a clue. But yeah, I'd have to say Misunderstanding in Priscilla, and probably Karen in Mean Girls.
Hmm.
Like really ditzy blonde, like just away with fairies. Love that.
So the next one I've got is, what was the best and worst thing about playing the pink pig in Shrek the musical?
Yes. So yeah, I was one of the three little pigs in Shrek. And it was just amazing. So I christened mine. I used to love Percy pigs. I don't eat them now because I try not to eat too much sugar. But I christened mine Percy Pig because I used to love Percy pigs. Um, oh god, we just used to like we got told to have the freedom to have fun, but within reason. So like we were obviously, we had to keep it professional. We had to keep it like the show would never be, put at harm. But it was just nice that the three of us just connected so well, and we just used to have fun. Like we genuinely used to have so much fun on stage, and you could guarantee we were always at the back in the corner because our costumes were so big. They were like, we'll just shove the pigs at the back. You could guarantee that if somebody was to turn around at any point, the pigs would be messing about. Like, or we'd be doing something to one of the other pigs. Like, you just knew that something would happen. But what was great is we used to have we had the suitcases, so we had straw, bricks, and sticks, and obviously we could hide behind this. If anything funny happened, we used to hide behind our suitcases. No one else had like the luxury of those props, so if anything happened, we could just kind of laugh it off and like behind a prop. But yeah, it was just so much fun. Like it was so much fun, and then my obsession with pigs started, and yeah.
Yeah, like I'm pretty certain that when you was actually on tour with Shrek, you was walking in the costumes around Blackpool. Am I correct in saying that?
Are you from Blackpool?
No.
Oh yeah, but we got asked to go and do promo on the hottest day of the whole year. It
Oh.
was so hot. We that's where we went into the arcades because we were like, we need to get in the shade and like the aircon, because the costumes are really hot as well. But yeah, we caused havoc around Blackpool, scaring people in. I think it was ZZ's, like one of the restaurants there. We just like slammed up against the window. Like, can you imagine these three pigs just like there? Yeah, and then went down onto the pier front, the seafront, and into the arcades. Yeah, well, again, we just had so much fun.
Yeah, I can imagine that it would have been such a fun show to do.
Yeah, definitely, so much fun.
So like you said before, you have a radio show called Sit in the Stalls.
Yes.
So, what is your favorite interview that you've done so far?
Oh, that's a really good question. I don't think we've ever been asked that. Oh, we've had so many interviews. We've been going 6 months, so we've had like over 30 interviews, and then we also do Sit in the Stills lives, which we used to be on YouTube. We've now gone back to Instagram lives. God, I think the most interesting ones that we've had so far are we're doing a thing at the moment where we're speaking to Conservative MP, a Labour MP, head of equity, and then a mental health professional, all about the future of the arts and how people have been affected during the pandemic and all of that. So it's been really interesting hearing what they have to say from a political point of view, from a performers union point of view. We're still yet to do the mental health side of things, but I can guarantee that'll be really interesting. But again, we just talk to so many amazing people within our industry that it's so hard to choose. But most recently, I think the ones that stood out were Alex Davies Jones, Labour MP, and Giles Watling, Conservative MP, talking about the arts, which has been really interesting. But yeah, I've loved all of them. Everyone who we've spoken to, I've loved. So yeah.
So the next one is, if you could go back in time and watch one show from before you were born, what would it be?
Oh, well, that's a really hard one. I actually don't know. Um, yeah, I actually don't know. Stumped. I want to know who put that one in. That's a good one. Um, oh, it's so hard. It's hard because I love theatre as well. Like, I hate going to the theatre, but I love going to the theatre. So contradicted. Do you know what I mean? I find it really hard to sit still for 2.5 hours and watch something. I really do. And I'm the same with films. I really struggle to watch films. The one I really want to come here is the Prom. I'm really obsessed with the Prom
Yeah.
at the moment. SpongeBob, I'm really obsessed with, but again, they're quite modern. I really don't know. I'd have to think on that one. That's a really good question. Yeah,
I
I'll
know
have a
I've
think.
I've been asked that quite a few times, and I'm just like, nope, you're gonna have to come back to me in about 50 years.
It's and honestly, it's so hard because there's so many amazing shows, and also it's not just here in the UK. Like we have theatre all over the world, so there's like so many things I'd love to see. Um, like again, the Prom and SpongeBob, I would love to see come here. Um, yeah. Oh God, I'd have to have a real good think on that one. A real good think.
So the next one that I've got is a musical that should be revived right now.
Ooh, somebody asked me this the other day. What should be revived? I say everything should be revived. Literally, I'll listen to something. I'll be like, "Oh my god, that'd be such a good revival!" Like Our House, such a good revival. Um, ooh, ooh. I listened. Tell you what, I did listen to the other day. The Witches of Eastwick. I discovered the other day, and I'd never listened to it before. And I think it would be amazing to come back now. I think it would be great. Um, Oh, it's so difficult. I The thing is, if you're going to revive a show, it has to be better than it is before.
Yeah.
And the things that I've loved are like the Sweeney Todd revivals. So when it got revived with Imelda Staunton and Michael Ball, oh my god, I was literally like in the fifth row from the stalls, and I was like, "This is insane! It's amazing." And then they revived it, but in a pie shop. I was like, "This is genius." I was like, "This is absolute genius to put this in a pie shop." Like, great. So things like that, I really like interesting revivals. Um, Again, I'd probably have to sit down and have a think. It's really hard.
Yeah, there's only one show that I do want reviving, and it is Billy Elliot.
Yeah, so I think it's going to go out on tour this year or next year
I
at
really,
some
I,
point.
I really do hope so, because it's just like my all-time favorite show.
It's such a good show. It's such a good show. I
Yeah.
remember seeing it like 4 times when it was in London
Mm.
over various points throughout the years. But it's such a good show.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Like, especially the pro shot with Elliot Hanna and Ruthie Henshaw. It's just incredible.
Yeah, and that's the first film when we first went into lockdown. It's the first one I watched was
Mm,
Billy Elliot. I'd forgotten how good it was. I hadn't seen it in so long. It's such a good show.
it really is. So the next question I've got is, if you could make a musical cocktail slash drink at the theatre cafe, what would it be?
Oh, it would have to be something like Pink Pig Fears or something. Like it would have to be. It would have to be. It would have to be like pigs. So it'd be definitely be pink. I'd want like little ears on like the cocktail things, like little pig ears, a little nose that you could stick on the glass at the front, and it would probably be like some like raspberry. Everyone does strawberry. Let's do raspberry, like raspberry cream whip or something would be great. Yeah, it'd have to be like Pink Pig Fears or something.
Yeah. I can just imagine that with like a little Percy pig on the top of it.
Yeah, and like a little curly tail coming out as like the straw or something. Do you know what I mean? That would be so cool. I'd have to get some glitter in there somehow. Maybe like the glitter foil or something.
Yeah, 100%. Theatre cafe, if you're watching, get that on the menu.
Get it on there. Pink Pig in collaboration.
So the next one I've got is, what is your favourite thing about the West End and your favourite thing about Broadway?
Ooh. Um I love them both because of the celebration of the arts. I think what's really nice is the West End for me is a collaboration of performers coming together and creatives coming together to tell a story. One of the best things I love about being on stage is people come to the theatre to escape real life and they come to watch your show for 2.5 hours, however long it is. And they allow us, the performers, to tell a story. And I think that's so magical, to lose yourself inside a story for 2 hours. And then I love meeting people at stage door. People stand up and clap us as performers. Then when people come to stage door, it's so nice to talk to them and why they've come to the theatre and what they thought of the show and things like that. I love that. One thing I hold really special about Broadway, in 2016, I went on my first solo trip to New York. I'd never been before. And I managed to get a return ticket to Dear Evan Hansen, and it just opened. It was only in previews. I think it was like the first week of previews, and it was just so magical. It was amazing, like to be in that theatre and just see like Ben Platt and how incredible the show is. And I'm very skeptical to see it in London because I don't want to ruin the amazing time that I had watching the show on Broadway.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I just love it because it's a massive celebration of the arts. And it's not just West End and Broadway, it's TV and film, it's radio, it's podcast, there's so many different areas to our industry. And I think that's what it is. People do this because we love it. And that's what it should be. Do it because you love it.
Yeah. So the next one I've got is, what got you into performing?
Oh my God. So at the age of 3, I got sent to baby ballet for discipline because I was a really naughty kid, really naughty. I'm still really naughty now, and nothing's ever changed. That discipline absolutely went out the window. But yeah, I basically got sent to baby ballet at the age of 3 for discipline, and I just loved it so much. I kept going and going and going. And here we are now. Somehow, don't know how, but we're here.
So another question that I've got for you is, what inspired you to set up Sit in the Stalls?
Ooh, so I've always had a big dream to be like a presenter, whether that's radio, whether that's podcast, whether that's TV and film. Ideally, I would love to do like children's TV. I'd really love to go down that route. So when the opportunity came up for the radio show, I had emailed UK Radio Network, put forward saying I'd love to be a radio presenter. And then they came back and they were like, oh, we're actually looking for a theatre related show, put together a 2-hour proposal, what you would do, come back to us and we'll see if we like it. I then called Claire, and that's when I was like, I'm not doing this unless, you do it with me. We spent 24 hours putting together this show proposal, how we would want the show to run, what kind of things we'd want within the show. Sent it back to them, and they were like, oh my God, we absolutely love it, and when can you start? So the idea just was this thing flashed up on socials, looking for radio presenters, and I applied, and that's how we ended up with Sit in the Stalls, and we're now 6 months old, and it's amazing. We absolutely love it. We have such a blast, sharing stagey news and stagey songs, and we both love our industry. We champion ourselves on new writing and new work. Um, So yeah, we absolutely love it.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
I honestly do really enjoy listening to that show.
Oh, I'm so glad you listen. We don't really find out who listens. Nobody really messages to say, "Oh, I've listened to the shows." It's so nice
Yeah,
that
I listen to
everyone
it
listens.
all the time, and I absolutely love it.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you enjoy it. Well, let's give you a shout out next time.
Thanks. So the next one that I've got is, what is the most embarrassing moment that's ever happened on stage?
Oh, too many. Too many. I'm so clumsy. I'm like one of those people that falls over my own feet. Um, to be honest, I wasn't that bad in Shrek, and I thought I'd be awful in Shrek because the shoes are really big. Like you've got like big shoe covers, and like there's like tracks in the like I thought I'd be awful. I wasn't the worst. Um, Mormon, I was very accident prone, and I don't know why. There was one there. We were doing Spooky Woman Hell Dream, and I was one of the devils. And there's Nabalungi's hut sits in the back wing in the corner, and one of the entrances for my devil was to jump through the hut onto the floor, and it's like a good 2 foot, so it's not that high. And but the devil thing, so if this is the bottom of your foot, your devil feet come out like double the length of your foot. So I jumped through onto this, like through the hut door onto the stage, and I stood on the top of my devil foot, went to pick up my other foot, and I just went backwards, and I was like a dead fly, like rattling around on my back. Um, and another one was in Turn It Off, I used to come on sneakily in the blackout. But I used to have to come on through two pieces of set. So there was like the wing bit that used to come out, and then there was a door that was wheeled on stage, and there used to be like a little gap about this big, enough for me to get through. But there was like big bits on the edge of the to cover the wheels of the door, and somebody put the door in the wrong place. So when I'd gone on and couldn't find my mark on stage, I thought, oh, it's got to be here somewhere. And they did the clap clap, and the lights come up, and I decked it over this door, and I was just there. The lights came up, and I was on the floor, and I was like, "Oh, get up!" I was like, "Kerridge, get up, get up, get up!" And then I just walked over, and it was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I don't know if I'm injured. I don't know if I'm hurt. I don't know. I don't quite know what happened." And then just carried on. Like, so yeah, quite a lot has happened. I'm very accident prone. Very accident prone.
Yeah, like I am. Literally, I've been clumsy since birth.
Oh yeah, and I drop things quite a lot as well. So like, if I have a prop, I'm probably going to drop it on the floor at some point. I'm terrible, terrible. There used to be one. Oh, I'll let you into a little secret. There used to be one. This is really naughty. Don't ever do this on stage. There's one bit in Shrek where I was the priest. I married Farquaad and Fiona, and I used to stand in the corner with my Bible, with my book, and Farquaad used to go back up onto the altar and was giving it all like Richard III, like, and I shall lock you back in that tower. And I used to like whisper to him. I used to be like, "Hi, are you okay? Wait, why are you getting angry?" I used to be really naughty, really naughty. Um, so yeah, we used to make each other laugh sometimes.
Is there any behind the scenes stories that you can share or want to share?
Ooh, depends on what it is. I'm trying to think behind the scenes. What, as in shows and like the Mamma Mia and stuff?
Yeah.
Ooh, there's one that I definitely can't, which is the waistcoats in Mormon. I get asked about it all the time, and I definitely can't say anything about that because that's theatre magic. Um, And then there's not really, actually, not that I can think of. I do remember when we filmed Mamma Mia though, like it looks really sunny and bright. I was in the graduate scene at the beginning, like where we were in Oxford University, and it was miserable. Like it absolutely, like it was grey, the weather was rainy, like it was just like a grey day. But they made it look so sunny. And even when you watch that, when we were by the canal boat, like in the park, it was raining, and somehow they made it look really sunny, and I was like, how have you done this? And then when you look up, there's like big reflective like beam lights on like white canvas, like fabric bits that are like put all around the set, and it just reflects light onto you. But honestly, it rained like non-stop when we filmed that bit of the film, but it looks really sunny, so we were actually drenched, like we're like drowned rats. No, it wasn't that rainy, but um it rained, definitely, and it was miserable. I remember that. And it was cold.
England fire.
Oh, don't. Terrible. Terrible.
So, how have you been remaining stagey during lockdown?
Also, remaining stagey with the radio show, creating the sitcom for Pink Pig. We've also Pink Pig Productions and Sit in the Stalls are collaborating with another big project idea that we have going on, but I can't say too much about that at the moment. Um, and yeah, just continuing to write like my musicals and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, just for me, I've got the sewing machine out at the moment and making loads of stuff, and yeah, just trying to keep busy and find things to do is what I'm doing. Nothing too
I
special.
think that's what pretty much everyone's doing at the minute.
Yeah, yeah, that I can sympathise with definitely.
Yeah, 100%. So you made your West End debut in The Book of Mormon.
I
So
did.
what was it like to be in a show like that?
Oh my god, it was just so surreal. Like, who'd who'd have known? Like, and I definitely didn't. Like, I knew a job was gonna come when I left college. Like, I genuinely knew. Like, I've got a really good like I can sense things. Like, not that I'm like psychic or anything. I kind of wish I was though. But I knew something was gonna happen. I just didn't know it was going to be 6 months after graduating and so quickly. Um, and it was just insane. Like, I remember walking in on day one of rehearsals. I got the train in and I was like, I'm petrified. It's like, I'm absolutely petrified, like, so scared. And getting to rehearsals and walking in the room and seeing people that I'd idolized in shows and had seen in shows and was like, oh my God, I'd love to have your career. Like, one of my best friends now, Harry Francis, who's just amazing. And like, he'd done everything like Cats, Fiddler on the Roof, West Side Story. He'd done everything. And I was like, how am I in this cast with you? Like this is not what should be happening right now. And like Joseph Davenport, who I'd watched in Memphis, and Matilda and John Dudley and all these amazing people. And I was like, I'm definitely in the wrong room. Like, I definitely shouldn't be here. And then it just came to opening night and I just my mum and my dad and my sister were there, my MT teacher was there, my acting teacher was there, my like friends and I was just like, this is this can't be happening. Like, this genuinely can't be happening. And it even like a year went so quickly. And like by the time like I left, I was like, it honestly doesn't feel like I've been here a year. Like, it genuinely didn't. But it was just amazing. It was absolutely amazing. It was just like a step on in the right direction. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it was great. And here we are now in lockdown.
Yeah, so this is a question that I'm going to be asking everyone.
Okay.
So, what is your opinion on stunt casting and who is the most famous person you've ever worked with?
Ooh, stunt casting's an interesting one. We do it because people do it because it's going to sell tickets, it's going to put bums on seats and stuff like that. But sometimes, the stunt casting people are amazing. Like, Danny Mac, I recently saw virtually in Sunset Boulevard, and I'd seen Danny Mac previously in other shows, and amazing, like absolutely amazing. Um, the most famous person I've worked with Keith Chegwin, may he rest in peace. One for the older people. Josie Lawrence I've worked with, again one for the older peeps. Laura Main from Call the Midwife did Shrek with us, and Amelia Lilly from The X Factor did Shrek with us as well. And I later then did Panto with Amelia a year later, which is amazing because I absolutely love her so much. Richard Blackwood I've worked with. Um, and then obviously Jess and Alexa and Lily James, Celia Emery in Mamma Mia. Yeah, there's been quite a few people. There's been quite a few. Um, it's just nice. It's nice to meet those people, and they're
Yeah,
very down to earth people. Especially Richard Blackwood, he's amazing.
yeah. So, like you said, you was in Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely love that film. It is one of my favorite movie musicals.
It's good.
It is honestly absolutely incredible.
I think it's better than the first. Just saying, unpopular opinion, most probably, but I think it's better than the first.
Yeah. Did you ever get to meet Meryl Streep on that job?
No, and you know what? I'm absolutely gutted. So I had just started. I filmed in August because it was summer. Yeah, and then I started rehearsals for Shrek in November. When we started in November, a load of people got asked to go back and film the end section, which was like the mega mixy sort of thing, and like Cher was in it, Meryl was in it, like everyone was in it, and I couldn't do it because I had just started Shrek and I couldn't get time off to go. So I was absolutely gutted, and people got to meet Cher and Meryl, and I was like, no. But I got to meet Lily James, got to meet Jess and Alexa, Celia Imrie filmed with us. I can't remember which one it is, Benny or Bjorn. One of them was in that section as well. So yeah, some people got to meet her, but I definitely didn't. Gutted. I love her so much.
So again, referring back to Mamma Mia,
Mm-hmm.
what was it like going from performing on a stage to being in a movie musical?
It's really different. Like it's so odd because obviously live theatre you can't stop, you can't retake, you just have to roll with it and see what happens, which is why I love live theatre is every show is different in some way. And I love that. I think that's really special. I always say like when people buy a theatre ticket, you're getting extra for your money if something happens or not necessarily they would know something's happened, but if you go, oh, I did that slightly different today, somebody's got a little extra for their money. Whereas film, you can kind of stop and retake and cut and go back, and you can do pickups and stuff. Um, so it is really interesting in that respect. But I loved it. I don't get me wrong, I loved being on set and I loved that. But I think for me, live theatre is more special. I think because you're getting firsthand what happens,
Yeah.
and there was things that went wrong in Mamma Mia, and I think we did about 4 or 5 takes when we were by the canal boat, and definitely, like, you look at them and I definitely go wrong, like, and the way they've edited it together and stuff like that. So, but I think there's something really special about live theatre. I definitely do. So I think I prefer that.
So the last question that I've got on here is, what show do you want to see after lockdown?
Oh, oh, that's a really difficult one. I tell you what, I'm really like the Anne Juliet soundtrack, so I'd be very interested to see Anne Juliet. Um, Oh, it's difficult. Again, that's a really difficult one. I'd want to go and see a fun, upbeat show. We've been so bogged down and all of this. I think I'd want to go and see a fun, upbeat show. Definitely.
Yeah, so that comes to the end of them questions, but
Okay.
I'm going to be doing this with everyone who I get on, and it's just some quick fire
Oh,
questions.
fantastic! I love these. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So favorite musical,
Oh, Gypsy
plays or musicals,
musicals.
West End or Broadway,
Oh no, don't do that. Oh, West End.
favorite theatre you have performed in.
Oh, that's that's a tricky one because of tour. Um, Probably the. Oh God, again, this is really hard. Either the Winter Gardens in Blackpool, beautiful, absolutely stunning. Manchester Palace, Bordigash in Dublin, Belfast. Oh, beautiful, beautiful theatre in Belfast, absolutely stunning. Go and check out the history of it; it's amazing. They've just done a revamp of the theatre. Oh God, I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know. Probably the Prince of Wales as well, definitely.
And this is a question that started a debate. Is cereal soup?
Oh my God, somebody asked me this the other day on another Q&A and I died at this. I said it is because technically it's food in liquid and it depends on your type of cereal because if it's like cornflakes, it's technically wheat. So it's a savory.
Hmm.
I, I'm fascinated by this whole argument. I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. I love hearing people's side.
It's like the whole Weetabix and baked beans trend going around on TikTok.
Oh my God, what is that about? What is that?
Like some of my mates have even turned around to me and said, "Oh, I'm gonna try that." I was like, You're disgusting. You're disgusting."
I'm not sure on that one. Yeah, not sure on that one.
100% wouldn't want to try that ever.
No, no. I think maybe in my head I'm like cold baked beans, but I'm sure they'd be heated up. They'd have to be.
So you've surely just got to heat them up because why would you want to just eat baked beans cold anyway?
Oh, I just can't. Oh, baked beans and Weetabix. Just no, no, not the one.
I actually saw a TikTok the other day, and this guy put the Weetabix, then the milk, then the baked beans, and mixed it all together.
Oh
Like, I'm sorry, but you definitely threw up after that video.
no, that's no, 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 no,
Don't want to
no.
do it. You just don't want to do it. So yeah, that comes to the end.
Thank you for having me. I've had a blast.
No worries. Thank you for coming on.
No, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome.
So yeah, that is it, guys. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all soon for another video.